Hello and welcome to Devitt Debates, the show where we debate a topic in 5 minutes or less. And today we will be starting with AEW All Out 2020 predictions, starting in 3, 2, 1. And of course we will be starting the night off on the buy-in with Dr. Britt Baker taking on Big Swole in the Tooth and Nail match. Now this match of course taking place in the dental office of Britt Baker, you have to assume. Now this match has Britt Baker written all over it in my opinion. Big Swole really could use that big win to push her up the card, but Britt Baker just coming back from injury and clearly going to be moving forward for that AEW Women's Championship very shortly. So Britt Baker for this one. Next up we have the Casino Battle Royal, and I'm going to take a bit of a risky pick in this one. If I'm honest, I don't think it's going to be any of the men already announced for this match. Darby Allin is clearly going to get taken out by Starks or Cage. Lance Archer is going to have an issue with Cage that's going to lead to both of them getting knocked out. And I don't think any of Eddie Kingston's gang of guys is going to win. As much as I'd like Pentagon to pick up the big win in this match, I just don't think it's his time right now. So I'm going to take a big risk, and I'm going to say that Pac is going to make his return on this show. And sure, I know, travel borders, travel issues. He'd be able to get there for this show and then have this title match in his pocket. I'm not saying we have to have the title match straight away, but he has a title match in his pocket for the future. And then that's how we get Pac and Moxley to continue their feud once travel is fully back to normal. And next up, we have the Broken Rules match, Hardy Guevara. Essentially a last man standing match where Hardy will have to leave AEW if he loses. Honestly, Hardy isn't going to be leaving AEW anytime soon. This is Hardy's match to win. Guevara won that big tables match, caused that big injury to Matt Hardy. Yeah, this is Hardy's. Has to be Hardy's match to win. Matt Hardy for the win in the Broken Rules match. Then next up, the Dark Order taking on the Natural Nightmares, Matt Cardona and Scorpio Sky. Now, honestly, the Dark Order, Brody Lee has only just won that TNT Championship, and I'd much rather have a defense of that TNT Championship on this card instead of this big 8-man tag. But it makes all the sense in the world for Mr. Brody Lee to pick up the big victory here tonight, pinning QT Marshall, you'd have to imagine. And then we move forward. Matt Cardona tries to challenge for that title until eventually Cody makes his big return to take on Brody Lee, probably at Full Gear or whatever the November pay-per-view is going to be this year. Then the Bucks versus Jurassic Express. Very simple one here. The Bucks are going to win 100%, like 1,000,000%. There's kind of no way Jurassic Express wins this. The Bucks pick up the big win, moving forward to face off with FTR in the future. Speaking of FTR, we now have the AEW World Tag Team Championship match, Omega and Page taking on FTR, and this match has FTR written all over it. FTR are going to pick up those tag champs at Saturday's show, and Omega and Page are going to explode. I get the feeling that after the match, Omega's going to take the pin. He's going to be really annoyed. He's going to try and attack FTR post-match like he has been doing with other people. Hangman's going to try and calm him down and try and be the good guy in this situation. But Omega's just going to whack him around the head. Whack him around the head, hit him with a few V-triggers, and do something brutal to Hangman. And that's how we're going to leave it, with Omega looking down on Hangman and FTR in the ring, looking after Hangman. And then we have the women's title match, Shida versus Thunder Rosa. Now, of course, this is AEW Women's World Championship taking on the NWA champion. And let's be real, you can't really have the NWA champion beating the AEW Women's Champion. It kind of pushes her down the card. And if we're kind of building towards Shida versus Baker, it doesn't really make sense to have Thunder Rosa to pick up the belt here, because then it would be a heel versus heel program. It makes much more sense for Shida to keep on being the strong women's champion that she is. And then we have Jericho versus Cassidy in the Mimosa Mayhem match. Of course, if we can win this match through pinfall, submission, or being thrown into the Mimosa. And I think this is a risky one. I think Jericho's going to win. I think Jericho's going to hit that Judas effect on Cassidy, or he's going to get a roll-up. Something kind of, not entirely Jericho just beating Cassidy, but then post-match Cassidy's going to jump at Jericho and throw him into the Mimosa. Because the image has to be Jericho in that Mimosa freaking out. And then our main event, we have Jon Moxley taking on MJF. And unfortunately, as much as I would like MJF to win this match, I would say this match is all Moxley. Moxley, no paradigm shift available, but he has so many other moves in his arsenal. Moxley is going to pick up this win and continue being the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. And that is all for this episode of Devitt Debates. And we'll be back next time, of course. Leave your comment below on who you think is going to win at AEW All Out. And I will see you next time.